Welcome to the Talking with the School of Transportation podcast, presented by Centennial College. With your hosts, Ian Campbell and Harnek Gill. Let's get into it now. Welcome back to the Talking with the SOT podcast. I'm here with Harnek Gill, and we're at a special event today.
We are at Skills Ontario.
Is it Skills Canada? Skills Ontario? It's all
everything,
for Skills Canada, right?
That sign says Skills Canada Ontario.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's a Canada or Ontario.
It's the Ontario portion of Skills Canada, I believe.
Yes, that's right. So then the competitors go on here to compete in the Skills Canada competition, which I believe is in Quebec this year?
I believe so. Montreal, maybe?
Yeah. So I will say this is my first time down here, and this is huge.
We're at the Toronto Congress Center.
And there are all sorts of different trade stuff going on here. There's a little robot in front of me that's just walking around on its own.
From our college.
Yeah, from Centennial College at our CTAS department.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So it's very neat. There's a lot of also so many different competitors and so many people looking at different types of trades. Whenever people say trades, honestly, I just think mechanics.
Yeah,
that's our bias, right?
And basic stuff.
And, with that in mind, we are at a giant competition, so it is a little louder than normal.
Yeah, you might hear some stuff going on in the background.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little louder than our normal podcast, I think.
Yeah, and it'll be fun. We're going to try and get some maybe competitors, some people involved with skills, and do a few interviews and have some fun stuff going on throughout the day. So hopefully we can wrap this all up into a nice podcast by the end of it. We'll see how the editing works out.
Yeah, and we'll get a good idea of what this competition is all about, because we keep trying to encourage students to show up and be involved, and it is nice to see it at the next level, past Centennial Skills down to Ontario Skills, and then maybe we'll be at Canada Skills next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
World
Skills to Dubai.
Let's make it happen. Let's go. I'm down. Centennial's paying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully. That's pretty crazy. There's a lot going on. We have some, from just School of Transportation, we have a whole bunch of people helping with some on-car stuff, which is teaching high school kids, I believe, how to boost
a car, switch around wheels, just the kind of basic hands-on stuff that, it's always good to know, whether you end up involved in the trades or not, right?
For sure. And then we have the auto body department doing some refinishing, as well as a virtual spray booth that Mr. Roberts has got going on. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's this total virtual reality. You put a helmet on and you spray a panel and it tells you how you did.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat. Gives you an idea of what's involved. And I'm standing here looking at a helicopter.
Yeah, there's a helicopter from the aviation department. Which is kind of neat, and the kids are crawling through it and maybe flipping switches they're not supposed to, but we'll see.
Yeah, if this cuts out all of a sudden and you hear a helicopter blade
fire
whir,
up,
get to the chopper.
Well played. Awesome. Well, we're going to do a little walk around, I think, and see what's going on, and hopefully we can report back on what our favorite thing is. So stay tuned, and hopefully we have some good interviews.
Yeah, see you soon.
Welcome back. We are with, what's your name, sorry?
It's Bill Couchie.
Bill Couchie. Nice to meet you. And what do you do for skills?
So I'm a program facilitator, but I'm in the First Nations Métis Inuit program, where we, along with promoting skilled trades to everybody in Ontario, our department focuses on Indigenous youth, underemployed adults, urban and on-reserve Indigenous folks. So we're all over the province. For me, I work from Windsor to Cornwall, Niagara Falls, all the way up to North Bay. That's my territory.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So how did you get involved in that role?
Well, it's kind of funny because a lot of students ask me what trade I went.
Right.
I did, and I actually went to university for First Nations history.
Oh, wow.
And then when I was done, I had a hard time finding work. And then I got this job, and it allowed me to teach and spread a really positive message about careers. So that's how I got in. I was hired in 2015 and haven't looked back. I don't want to leave because I really enjoy spreading a really positive message about skilled trades and technology.
Yeah. Have you, what's the impact you've seen across the First Nations people with trades?
Yeah, I see a lot. I see a lot more Indigenous youth wanting to get into the trades. Like a lot of times when we do our presentations to like non-Indigenous schools, I'll talk about like how much pay and all the good jobs. But when I'm talking to Indigenous students, I'm always trying to remind them about how you can help with economic development.
Cool.
Going back to your community. And, if you're a carpenter, electrician, construction work, you can go back and do the work. Their communities would much rather hire somebody local than have to pay for a company to come on the reserve. They pay them the money and the money leaves. If you have more tradespeople on reserve communities with businesses, like I said, they'd much rather contract that money out to them, and then that money stays in the community. And also, being a tradesperson, you can pass on your knowledge, right? You can hire apprentices, and that's another benefit, is you can go back to your community and you can start teaching the next generation of tradespeople. So that's kind of like, I see a real trend. You see it more and more Indigenous students realizing that there's really great opportunities in the trades right now.
That's amazing.
Are there any trades in particular that people are leaning into?
I notice a lot of like carpentry, home renovations. You see a lot of like I'm going to say construction, but, like things like that Liuna does and those kind of things, and welding. You see a big push for welders right now. I see a lot of Indigenous people who are going into welding.
Oh, great.
Awesome. And we were just talking about earlier how there's a lot of cool welding booths here at the skills competition.
Yeah, we have our skills mobile classroom. And we have like a welding simulator in there too. Yeah, it's such a great piece of equipment to allow like young people like myself, like I never wanted to try welding, and so the first time I tried it on the simulator, and I was like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So yeah,
it's fun, and I think it's a valuable piece of information. Like with the trade, you have something tangible, right? You can go do something, and that community aspect's really cool for every person, and especially in those.
You can go there and see your work, and you can see the results of your work, right?
It's fruitful, and you can tangibly see something. It's really cool.
Yeah, like if you know anybody who's a tradesperson, you driving around with them in town or something, they're like, yeah, see that building? I helped build part of it, or I installed this. I did the concrete there.
That's
so it's
really
like,
cool.
It gives you a lot of pride. The one thing I always heard was like, oh, skilled trades, that's third place. You go university, college, and skilled trades. And it's like, no, I try to relay to the students. I use my history knowledge and say, even 2,000 years ago, like in the Roman Empire, they're employing skilled tradespeople on an industrial scale. Like they're building buildings out of concrete. They even have plumbing, roads, blacksmiths, and so on. They have restaurants. They have places to make clothes, and that's 2,000 years ago. So I try to relay, like, we wouldn't be where we are today with all this wonderful technology and achievements we've done without the work of skilled tradespeople. So it's like they're really essential careers.
Yeah, these skills will always be in demand.
Yes, exactly. And I always say like they're recession proof, but because of recently I would even say pandemic proof. During the pandemic, I had my roof redone, I had my driveway redone, East Trough, like all work that skilled tradespeople do.
Absolutely. So what do you think is the most, I know maybe you can't say, but what do you think is the most interesting booth you've seen?
Or the most cool thing you've seen here?
I'm going to have to say the helicopter, because this is the first time the people have had planes in here. I've never seen a helicopter in here like that. So I like the Centennial booth. I know maybe I'm a little biased, but
so are we.
Any of the big booths like this that have, I know there's a booth behind it. I think it's Durham, and they have like a truck, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, any of the really big college booths I really like.
That's funny, because what kind of strikes me is the concrete and like the masonry, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's really cool stuff. But I see this all the time, so it's kind of
that's true.
Yeah,
a little different.
It's amazing at landscaping what they're doing inside.
It's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's huge. Like I've been here a few years, or 2019, I think was the last time I was here, and I think it's grown since then. And out front with all the poles and all that stuff, it's really cool. So
yeah, and like we even upped our food game. There's all these great food trucks out for lunch this year, so the students have a lot to choose from.
And the lines are big.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Well, Any other questions, Harvey?
I think that's it, unless you have something else you want to talk about.
Anything else you want to plug?
No, that's great. That's
perfect.
That's kind of what I teach students. What I gave you a quick kind of rundown of some of the major points that I pass along.
I love
students.
it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
All right, and we're back with Ian, I believe it is.
Yeah,
Yes?
Ian Howcroft, and I'm the CEO of Skills Ontario, and welcome to the 2024
Awesome.
Skills Competition.
Awesome. Skills Ontario. So we had a conversation earlier. Is that the Ontario version of Canada's Skills? Is that how that works?
It's the Ontario version of Skills Competence Canada. We're all part of the same network. Our legal name is Skills Competence Canada Ontario.
Oh, okay.
We've been around as the longest organization. This is our 35th anniversary year, and we've been delivering this since 1989. It's the largest skills competition in the country. We have a record number of registrations this year. About 2,800 students are formally competing. We have a Young Women's Conference, 2,000 registrations, the largest skilled trades conference for girls and young women. We have a huge Indigenous conference, FNMI conference, about 850 in person and another 850 virtually. We have over 400 guidance counselors coming to a conference tomorrow. And for the first time, we're also doing a entrepreneurial conference.
Oh, cool.
And I think we had 900 students register for that tomorrow as well. So a lot of great, exciting things. Today's our elementary program. Tomorrow is the secondary and post-secondary with most of our conferences. We do have the elementary Young Women's Conference today. And it's just exciting to see so many people back in person coming to the competition, watching the competitors. But also we have booths such as yours. We have about 200 booths with 120 partners that offering experiential opportunities, try a trade, letting young people, students see what skilled trade could be for their educational pathway and also the career pathway. So it's really nice to see so much excitement, enthusiasm, and vibrancy here from the target audience, which is school students.
Yeah. And what got you into skills? What got you into this position?
I started my career in public policy. I worked for a manufacturing association. And I was there for over 30 years, just under 30 years. And every year I was there, one of the top challenges manufacturers were facing was a shortage of skilled workers. We don't have the workers that we need. We can't fill these positions. We're losing out economically because of this. And I got on the board of Skills Ontario many, many years ago. I saw a real affinity what Skills Ontario was doing and what Canadian manufacturers and exporters were doing. So I was on the board for many years, so was exposed to it, believed in it, supported it. My time on the board ended, and the person in my role retired. And the recruiter reached out to me and called me and said, come and talk to us. So I did. And I know I did not want to retire from the organization I basically started my career with. So it worked out that, hey, this is a great opportunity for me. I could see helping the organization continue to build on the success that it had already realized, but also what else can we do now to make sure that we continue to grow, continue to offer new programming to engage young people, to engage parents, to engage all audiences, to bring in our partners in the college system and the union system, the manufacturing system, other employers and businesses. We like to say that we're a very inclusive group ourselves, and everybody is welcome here. When I came, my first address to what we call the opening breakfast, which takes place on Tuesday, was my 3 C's: collaboration, cooperation, and coordination. And I'm still a big fan of that, and that's even woven into our new strategic plan that we'll just be releasing now about collaboration. We have to collaborate and leverage the work of all our partners, all organizations that want to work with us to promote skilled trades and technology careers to get young people engaged.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is your favorite thing to see here? There's so much going on. It's a huge ordeal. What is there something that
That's a really tough question.
I know.
So I'll give you my answer. Is what I really like to see here is just the excitement on the students' faces, on the participants' faces, and how much they're enjoying it, how much they're getting energized by what we're offering here. I'll tell you what the 3 of the most popular competitions to watch are. There's culinary arts. People like to watch that. The robotics they like to watch. And they also like to watch for longer periods of times the hairstyling.
Oh, okay.
But also you can walk around and there's seats around it for the landscape architecture, for the carpentry, for home building. You know, there's something for everyone. We have 76 different contests here, from 2D animation, photography, 3D animation, to the electrical, to plumbers, to HVAC. So there's something for everyone to explore and try your hand at it. So it's a amazing experience here.
It is,
really.
And we were walking around earlier. We could just walk around for hours just looking at people doing
watch the
stuff.
competition.
It's so neat. So.
It is an amazing experience for everybody who comes. I've had so many people say to me over the years that I had no idea it was like this. I mean, and you can hear me talk about it. You can look at pictures or even our videos, but really to come, you have to experience it to see what the whole thing is. It has that wow factor. So we encourage, come out and see it. You got to experience it. So, and I think we're expecting anywhere 35 to 40,000 people over the 3 days that we have here. So
There's been a lot of excitement also over just like food trucks.
Yeah.
We've been getting a lot of good feedback about that.
And that was a new addition that we started last year, and they went over really well. So we've done that. We put a lunch tent outside because we were just, and we've taken over more space in the north building because the interest is there. And I want to recognize and thank our government partners, particularly the Ontario government. They have been stepping up to the plate to support what we're doing, to invest in skills promotion and skills development. So it's been a great opportunity for us over the last few years. We have our mobile skills truck in the parking lot by the Young Women's Conference. We're building 3 more with some funding we got from the Skills Development Fund in partnership with the Ontario government. So there's a lot more we want to do, a lot more we can do. And we're really pleased to have Centennial College here. We know what you folks do, and as a self plug, I was on the board of governors for Centennial College for 6 years.
Perfect.
So I'm well aware of the organization and the great work that you folks do.
It's been good. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been great.
All right, so we have Daniel Chudy returning.
Back again.
And we're still here at Skills, and it's interesting because you have competed in Skills, and now you're a
long
judge.
Time ago.
Why don't you tell us about that?
So when I was an apprentice, level 1,
1960...
2004, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah, pretty much. And
I was licensed.
were you?
Makes me old.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't start my apprenticeship until I was like 25. I couldn't find a shop to register me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I took like a massive pay cut and like a 45-minute drive to get registered as an
Wow.
apprentice. It was harder back then.
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
There was little enforcement, and a lot of the shops just don't really care. They're like, "Why do you want that?" Right? But when I did it, so I came to school for level 1, and they had the Centennial skills. And I signed up for it. Went absolutely nowhere, but it was a good experience.
That's funny.
Ate some pretty soggy and cold pizza,
Okay.
and then when I
think
came
that's
back,
par for the course.
yeah, yeah. At least here it's soggy and cold pitas, right, instead of pizza.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's like one level up, you know. And then the next year I came back and I competed again. I won at Centennial, and then I came to here. To the Ontario competition, and I got, I think, silver and didn't go on. And then the next year I came back for level 3, did it again. I didn't win at Centennial. I got second
Really?
to a classmate. His name was Kent Gillings, I think. Yeah,
Gillings?
Gillings. Kent
Gillings?
Yeah. Everyone called him Toothy. Yeah, he had pretty unfortunate buck teeth.
Gotcha.
And lost one in a freak
Oh,
rollerblading
really?
accident, and introduced himself to the whole level 1 class as, "Hey, I'm Toothy." Yeah, I don't know. He's from Coburg, I think. But anyways, he won. He was a phenomenal welder, really good body tech. Worked at a Car Star somewhere. And when we came here, he just fell apart.
No way.
And I beat him here. And I
Okay.
was lucky because I think that was the first year that Centennial sent 2 competitors to Ontario. So it was like super, super lucky for me that I won here, got to move on. And then I went to the Canadian competition, which was in Halifax that
Okay,
year.
cool.
And then I won gold there, which led to my job at the school, right?
So does that mean Worlds after that?
I was too old.
Oh,
so
were
usually
you?
apprentices
Okay.
are too old. It's
Yeah.
I think it's 21 years old in the
For
year
Worlds.
of the competition for
Gotcha.
Worlds,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So I was too old. Most apprentices are. It's usually a post-secondary student or a high school student who
Gotcha.
goes on to Worlds.
Okay.
But so I took it as far as I could go.
Which was national.
Nationals.
Good
yeah.
for you.
Yeah. So so I was the first one too, and at the school I don't have a banner.
Really?
It was like so long ago. It was before they had banners.
Before they had invented banners.
Yeah.
You should get one made.
I don't know. I was all over like the old bosses, and they're like, no, whatever. You just go away. So I don't know. I don't really want it up there, anyways. But
So how is the competition different from when you competed to now when you're here as a judge?
well, I would say if anything, it's easier now. When I did it, it was like the auto body one was ridiculous.
This is a classic old guy answer.
It is,
It was
but-
way
no,
harder
but it
back
was-
in my day.
it was
Walk
nuts, though.
uphill both ways.
yeah. Well, let me tell you what it was like.
You had to paint a car as it was being driven down the road.
Yeah. So now it's they have an auto body competition and they have a painting competition separate. It was together back then. So we did basically the auto body one, and then they like threw us all on a bus, and we went to like a high school, I think, and then we had to like fix, repair, and paint a fender, and we finished like 9 p.m.
No
or
way.
something. Yeah, it was
That's a long day.
ridiculous. It was ridiculous, right? And they did that way for years, like since the 90s, I think, and a lot of it wasn't on site. For a while, it was at like a car star, and they had like a video feed here, and it took us years to fundraise and get the money for that fancy spray booth that filters all the fumes and stuff, because it's really, really difficult to paint like automotive paint like in a hall like this, right? So
Yeah.
it's really specialized equipment. It took a long time to get it, right? So it's pretty unique, and that booth actually travels usually to whichever city is hosting the national competition. It's the same booth, and it's Skills Ontario's spray
Stuff.
booth. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really neat. And how long have you been participating as the judge?
Well, I'm the chair.
The chair?
Yeah, I
Oh.
run the show.
You're the main guy for the auto body
Yeah, but no, for painting.
painting.
Yeah,
Sorry. Okay.
Bill Speed does the auto body one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so when it branched off, that's when I started doing it, right? And that was 16 years ago. So a long, long time.
And that led you to the job, you said.
I think the national medal did for sure. And it just so happened the auto body department at that time, like they were all really close to retirement, and they were trying to pull new instructors in, and like too many at once.
Yeah.
And they said, well, maybe we should,
Got a young gun coming in.
yeah,
with a gold
let's
medal.
call that
Yeah.
Chudy guy and see if he wants to help in at the lab. And then like 5 seconds later, I was just full-time hire.
Awesome.
Yeah, but it
that's
was-
the opportunity that opens up, right?
yeah,
When
yeah.
you put yourself out there and compete.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, a lot of the competitors, when they're done, like we have like huge banner shops, and sometimes like corporations that come up and say to the competitor, like, where do you want to work?
Wow.
Like across Canada.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
really cool.
and it leads to like really, really good jobs. There's some pretty well-known people in the industry that were previous skills competitors. Like it does really, really help. with
I love that.
stuff.
And I also love that our students are trying it. Like we were at Skills for Centennial, and our students showed up,
Yeah.
and it's going to be, I think it's going to catch on again. I think COVID really dampened some of that, but
It's picking up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see the future of that, and I challenge all of our students to actually go for it. Put yourself out there. I think it's good. Awesome.
So you've walked around a little bit and seen most of the booths. Is there anything that stuck out that was really impressive, aside from our awesome booth?
The helicopter.
Yeah.
We got to get that rotor spinning next year. I think. Attract a little more attention. I think the robot battle is like that task that they have a different task every year. Like I always try to sneak away for a minute or two and watch that. It's super cool. I think. Yeah, it's really, really innovative. They do a completely different task every year. Right? It's not really a trade, but it's a very cool thing to spectate and see. Right? Yeah, it's cool.
If you didn't get into auto body and you had picked a different trade, what would you have gotten into?
Probably carpentry. My brother and my father were carpenters, but
cool.
I'm deathly allergic to sawdust, so it would have been a horrible existence. But I'm pretty good at it.
So you went for straight chemicals instead.
Yeah. I'm not allergic to those. I don't know. Yeah.
They just burn it out of my nose. It's
I'm always
okay.
itchy. I don't know. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks
Thanks for joining
Chudy.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, second time on the podcast. We got to get you on a few more. Alistair's pushing the fourth time.
Fourth.
One.
Yeah.
As long as I'm one ahead of Gullison, I'm happy.
Okay, we can make that happen. All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.
All right. So we have two students joining us from the MVRO program. We have
Zafir and Mark
V.
V.
Mark V.
Is there another Mark?
No, I just like call him Mark
okay.
V.
So you guys have been around today for a couple hours checking out the different booths and different trades. Is there anything that stuck out that was particularly interesting?
For me, I didn't realize there was going to be like the culinary arts section.
That was really interesting to walk by, seeing like all the pastries being made.
And the florists too.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
flowers and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like sometimes, especially as like auto technicians, we don't associate with the trades, but there's many different varieties of trades out there.
One of the kids that we interviewed earlier was excited about the barbers being here.
Yeah, he said he's gonna get a haircut.
Yeah, I even saw there was like facials in the
Facials
back,
going on.
threading happening.
Yeah. Breading?
Yeah, like eyebrows,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Aesthetics, or what was it called? Esthetician?
beauty.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Mark?
I like how, like, I thought it was just going to be the skills competition. I didn't know we're going to have, like, workshops and you get to go hands-on and everything, right? Get to experience all the, what we have going on.
The
right?
big competition's tomorrow, and we have one of our students that's going to be in it for automotive service tech anyway.
Is it just the one?
Just Philip, I believe.
From our side.
Oh,
just
okay.
the-
I see.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For, like one of our, I say our side, I guess it was cool. Transportation is pretty big. But one of the TATA FCA students. So, yeah, exciting to see how he does.
Yeah. I think he'll do good. Knowing Philip,
He's a fairly smart guy, so we'll see what happens.
Is he here today, or?
I don't believe so. I don't.
He'll
believe
be in tomorrow for their
tomorrow
competition.
bright and early. Yeah,
what time does it start?
7.
Oh,
Yeah, too early. Too early. So what's the most unassuming? You said like florist and like beautician and that kind of stuff, but what's another trade that's kind of like you don't really think of often? Like maybe more of a hands-on one, more of like a traditional trade that you see here that you're kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'll go like
For me, it was the masonry.
I was
stuff.
going to say the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
The masonry
I
stuff.
was like,
We've seen
oh,
that,
like,
landscaping and all that stuff.
Like,
is
of
really
course,
cool.
that's trades, but we just didn't, think about it as something that's in the forefront.
And like a really skilled thing, like they're fixing a big slab with whatever it is, mortar or whatever. And it's really cool to watch.
even walking outside, I saw them doing the construction on the lighting poles and electrical. I didn't realize I would be here, and it's good to see it outside, just
Now-
as you're walking in.
I mean, you guys are still pretty close to the beginning of your journey as apprentices. If there was another trade that you would sort of shift into, has anything here piqued your interest?
Probably plumbing or small engines, like
Welding.
marine, yeah, power sports.
Welding caught my eye.
Welding, yeah, that's very popular.
Did you try any of the virtual welders? No, there's a bunch of them here. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
No, we've only done the virtual painting simulator.
How'd you score?
35.
35. That's actually, it's only out of 50. We'll point that out. So that's
Oh.
really good.
This is news to me.
Oh, you thought you got a 35%. He was down. Yeah, no, that's really good, especially on your first go.
I think you beat the instructor on his first go.
He got 33
He got 30.
on his first go. Yeah.
I got 28.
That's good. Yeah, it's fun. It's pretty cool to watch all the students, like the high school students, run around too, and like get exposed to what you guys kind of are now. So, how would that transition from high school or elementary school? Some of these guys are into college. What would you guys recommend they do?
Yeah, so I never knew this actually existed, like this whole expo with all the skills. So Mark and I were discussing, it's a good forefront to see and explore your possible outcomes of like a job. Because if this was here before, I would have definitely came, like if I know about it.
Yeah, like I thought it was just going to be a whole competition, right? But when you come here, you actually get to experience like all the colleges and see what they have to, what they offer, right? So
Yeah, it's
you're
not like you
interested
have to place to be able to do
Yeah.
some of the activities. You can just come and learn about some trades.
And that's something me and Ian were talking about earlier. We could just hang out here for a couple hours, just either watching the competitors or just looking at the different booths. It's a really cool experience.
Yeah, I really like it. And we had the president of Skills Ontario on, and he said this is the 35th year this is happening.
Wow.
So pretty amazing how long and how
and
big
it's
it
just
is.
getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's what he said. I think he said the most amount of competitors this year. So it's just continually going to grow and grow and grow.
Was it 2,700
Something like that, yeah.
competitors? Yeah, of all skills. Like, yeah, so pretty amazing. Like the baking and all that stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, even just walking around, like Mark and I, when we came in, we're just flooded with kids, and we didn't realize it would be this popular.
Yeah. And it's pretty. Being Centennial, I'm proud to walk around and see the Centennial flag or banner everywhere.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's pretty much in every
Every
area.
corner.
Yeah, some
You'll
areas
see-
I didn't even knew Centennial was part of, and
Exactly.
we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
We have this
cool.
like there's this little robotics dog thing going around, right?
yeah.
So it's a lot of things we sometimes don't associate with either the college or Centennial itself. But yeah, there's so many different aspects and avenues to go down. Did you hop in the helicopter?
We have not yet. We're
you'll
just
have
in line
to.
for the painting.
Let's do it. Let's go in.
That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for jumping on. We'll see you in class.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir. Bright and early.
Yeah, 7:30 starts. Who did that? All right, we're back at Skills, and we have the man of the booth. I would say, is that a good way to say it?
Man of the booth.
Man of the
Aaron
booth?
joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks, fellas.
What is your role with Centennial?
So I'm the manager of the National Student Recruitment Team, and my portfolio focuses on direct learners, so all the young kids coming out of high school.
Great. Yeah. So, and you set up booths like this at events like this to try and get involvement, interaction, and you asked us to come podcast, which has been a blast. Actually, it's been a lot of fun.
I'm so glad that it's been enjoyable for you guys. You never know with some of these events; they can be a little bit busy. But after I heard your podcast, I was like, this is like the best kept secret that Centennial has, and we need to show everybody.
I appreciate that.
I've really enjoyed having all the we've had like grade 6, 7, 8 come through, and it's just they're so positive and happy to be here and to see all of the all these different trades that have been highlighted and showcased. So we're at Skills Ontario today. What other events are you involved with?
Oh, just about everything that happens off-site. So we have a really great on-site team that takes care of our campus tours and open house and things like that. But we'll do things like Level Up. So that's going to be another tour around the province. And then the Ontario College Fair. So I'm actually the chair of the Ontario College Fair Planning Committee this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. So lots of innovative stuff to try and to make more interactive, I guess, with the booth. And the helicopter has been the highlight of most of the kids.
Everyone's loved it. They've
yeah.
all come through, and we've asked them, what's your favorite thing that you've seen here, or what really stood out? And they're like, the helicopter. And we're like,
Let's
awesome.
go.
Yeah.
Or
That's
hearing
amazing.
themselves through the mic.
Yeah,
because
they really like that
They
too.
like sitting down is fun.
It's like as soon as kids see it, they're like, podcast? Come on.
It was really neat.
Yeah. And I love this event because the focus of this, and not that winning best booth is like it'd be nice to do, but it's got to be interactive. It has to be. It has to be. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it, and I think that's one of the best parts of this particular event. Not to mention all the competitions that are happening, because it's really great to see students in all levels, so elementary, secondary, and post-secondary, getting recognized for the things that they're learning how to do. But my favorite part, from like selfishly, is designing a booth like this where people can come out and they can try things, and you can see that spark that general interest, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Are there any, of course, we love our booth here, but is there anything else that's really sort of stuck out and got you kind of excited?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Fleming booth, if you get a chance to go check that
I
out.
did check that out.
Yeah, they have a really cool truck and trailer setup, and all of their heavy equipment simulators fully articulating. So as soon as you start playing around with them, everything moves and shakes and all that fun stuff. The dinosaur that they have over there, it's actually a project. It was 2 different schools that participated. So the welding students created the dinosaur. And then I think it was like their computer programming students created the app that's attached to the dinosaur. So you answer questions, it starts moving and stuff like that. I always like watching the power line competition as well. So watching those guys fly up there and everything like that's a blast to see.
Very cool. So, do you have any trades background at all?
Myself,
Yeah.
so after high school, I went to become a structural steel framer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
then on the weekends, oddly enough, it's funny how things happen, but a good friend of mine started an arborist company, so he's
Okay.
a certified arborist, so I'm a certified ground technician for him.
No way.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Running chainsaws, tying knots, running ropes, and all that fun stuff. Keeps me busy, and it keeps me out of trouble, and it keeps my wife happy.
I bet. Yeah, that's great. So if you had to pick any trade right now coming out of high school, put yourself in those students' positions, what would you pick? Like, is there something that like gets you excited? Or I saw the masonry or the concrete repair and that kind of stuff, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I didn't even think of that being here, you know? So is there something like that would spark your interest for them, or just for you then kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many the occupational hazard working in recruitment. I get to see all the the programs across the province. I always want to go back to school. Excuse me. So it's they're not featuring it today, but if I could go back and do it all over again, it's trade adjacent, but marine navigation.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Right? Like Georgian, the only school that offers it in North America. It's the only place where you can learn how to navigate large-scale shipping boats on the Great Lakes system. If you told me 15 years ago that I could stand on the bridge of a boat and work my butt off and make an obscene amount of money, I probably would have done that. Like, I love my time as a steel framer. It was fantastic, helped me pay for school and everything like that. But my boss told me I talk too much, so I should go into sales. So I ended up doing that, and then found myself in student recruitment.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing thing about trades too. One, there's trades, and then there's all these sort of, just like you said, trades adjacent things. And there's so much out there that one of the things I heard from the students is they're like, we didn't know that there was this many different opportunities in trades and things. And, you know, even me and Ian were talking earlier, when we think trades, we're a little biased. We think automotive, right? AST, auto body, and then aviation. So we're very like, we haven't experienced all the various trades and even thought about them in that way. So there's so much out there that people can get involved with.
Oh, absolutely. And it's the STEM fields, right? So science, technology, engineering, and math is really where it's at. Here, it blows people away that even for the elementary students, they're doing graphic design competitions, right? And you've got hairdressing that's here as well that people tend to forget about all the time. And even ECE, early childhood education, that's considered a certified trade. So you can go and get licensed that way. Excuse me. But there's so many, and it's exciting that they're finally giving it the shine that it deserves, because there's a lot of students that post-secondary is a great option for them, but there's a lot of people who are really going to thrive in the trades, and they're going to be able to create themselves a fantastic living. And to your point, sometimes those trade skills that you learn are so beneficial elsewhere. And I mean, come on, being able to do a few things for yourself every once in a while, if anything, it's going to help you out on the weekend, kind of working around the house or doing anything like that. It's like, if I could give any kids any advice, even if you don't go into the trades, just learn how to read a tape measure.
Sure. Yeah, learn a tangible skill. We've said that a few times today, I think. So
Yeah.
It's great. So I think this will be the end part of the episode. So, and you're an avid listener.
Yes, absolutely.
So we have 2 questions for you. What's the first question, Harnek?
Well, this is where it gets dicey with your 2 questions.
Let's
Are you
just
going to
do
do
the
the original
Yeah,
questions?
yeah.
If you could be anyone for a day, real or fictional, who would you be?
Oh, wow. Elon Musk.
Oh, wow. That is a good one.
Yeah, not that I'm necessarily like a huge fan of him. I am a fan, but I think
sure.
it would just be fascinating to live his life for a day and to have his brain for a
Yeah,
day.
to
Just
see, just to be in that position.
what goes on in his head. Hey, I want to go to the moon, or I want to create a spaceship, and to have the resources and the knowledge to be able to do it, like, stop. I would definitely go the route of like supervillain, I think, at that point.
Lex Luthor kind of.
Exactly, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then if you could have a vehicle, any vehicle that you want at all,
And that includes like any sort of airplane.
plus the ability,
submarine.
like you get the Matrix ability to instantly learn it. So I chose like a F-16 fighter pilot, that kind of thing. But you could pick anything you want. What would it be?
That's a really good question. I'd probably have to agree with you. Like some sort of like a stealth fighter jet or something like that. That'd be a blast. Either that or just like, I don't know. It'd be really nice to have that that GT over there that they got at that other booth.
that Ford GT. That is nice. Yeah, awesome. I love it. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys. It was my pleasure.
We'll have to do this again for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime you guys want to have me on, I'll talk as long as you guys need.
Great. All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks again. This has been the Talking with SOT podcast with Harnek and Ian Campbell. Thanks for listening.